Good morning to my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. What I'd love to do today on this windy Sydney morning is to go through a book, and the book that I've selected for this morning's episode is entitled The Female Search for Love, a book that was published on the 22nd of January 2002 by an author who goes by the name of Bell Hooks. Let's see what we can learn, what we can take, and what different perspective we can glean from this book, this collection of deep thoughts, and incorporate into our own inventory of skills, knowledge, wisdom, and potential power. So according to this author, we learn that she used to think love would save her, that if she just found the right person, the right rhythm, the right kind of tenderness, everything else would finally make sense. But what this book, Communion by Bell Hooks, taught us is that most of us enter love half-formed, hoping another person will complete what we haven't yet learned to build within ourselves. This book isn't about romance in the way we're used to it. It's about the ache underneath the romance, the longing to be seen, held, and understood without having to perform for it. This author, Hooks, writes with both intellect and intimacy, naming the quiet struggles many women carry, loving too much, losing themselves in care, mistaking attention for affection, or silencing their own needs for the sake of peace. So let's see what this book can teach us. Communion, the female search for love. So the first key message from this book is where we learn that the real work is in learning how to receive love. The author of this book suggests that many women know how to give love endlessly, selflessly, sometimes to the point of depletion. But Hooks reveals that the harder skill is learning to receive love without feeling guilt or fear in the process. Because what the author here taps into and crystallizes is that you can't pour from a heart that's constantly emptying itself for others. Another message from this book is that self-betrayal is not love. Hooks speaks to how women are socialized to make themselves smaller in order to avoid conflict, to accommodate, and to keep love by losing themselves. When it's all said and done, true communion, according to this author, requires truth-telling even when it disrupts one's comfort. Because love that costs you your voice is not love, it's survival. We also learn that healing is a prerequisite for loving well, because unhealed hearts and unhealed wounds become the silent architects of our relationships. Hooks shows that without self-awareness, one repeats what hurts us, chasing unavailable people, mistaking chaos for passion. Healing, she says, is the soil where real love learns to grow and to flourish. Another message from this book is that love is a choice, not a feeling. Hooks redefines love as a conscious commitment to honesty, respect, care, and responsibility. Feelings may fade, or feelings may fluctuate, but the discipline of love deepens with intention. It's something you do, not just something you feel, is the key message. We also talk about love as being bigger, much bigger than romance. One of Hooks' most freeing ideas is that love isn't confined to the romantic realm. It's found in friendship, it's found in creativity, in community, and all of those spaces where our hearts expand rather than contract. When we stop idolizing romantic love, we start noticing how surrounded by love we actually are, and that is a very, very important and powerful lesson to take from this book. And the last key point to come from this book is where we learn that liberation and love go hand in hand. For women, learning to love well means unlearning the systems that taught them to first serve and later feel. Hooks reminds us that loving in freedom, it's a bit bouncy here, that loving in freedom without domination, fear, or dependence is one of the most radical acts of all. So, in terms of our final thoughts, communion, this book, Communion, is not a book you read once. It's one you return to at every new stage of one's womanhood. Bell Hooks doesn't offer formulas. She offers a thing called clarity. She doesn't promise perfect love. She offers real love, the kind that begins within and ripples outward. If you've ever wondered why love sometimes feels like taking both a blessing and receiving a wound, this book will help you see that it's not because you're broken, it's because you've been searching for love without realizing it's been waiting quietly in your own becoming. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where I'm coming to you from another vantage point today, another wharf just next to Meadowbank, and it's going to be an interesting sort of day. I'm working up there where those two cranes are near the Meadowbank railway station. There's a big building project currently happening there, and we'll see how we go throughout the day. But thank you very much for joining me on this episode, and I look forward to coming to you again from another place and with another message of empowerment. Yassas, take care, and bye for now.